What if I told you that the most modern psychological dramas you could watch were written over 2,000 years ago? That a playwright from ancient Greece understood human nature so deeply that his characters still feel like they could be our neighbors, our leaders, or even ourselves? Sophocles didn't just write plays. He wrote character studies that dissected the human soul with surgical precision. While other playwrights focused on the whims of gods and the grand sweep of fate, Sophocles turned the spotlight inward. He asked, what happens when a good person faces an impossible choice? What destroys us from within? These questions made him revolutionary in 5th century Athens, and they make his work essential viewing today. Before we dive into his most famous masterpieces, let's explore the other surviving plays that showcase his range and genius. These aren't just footnotes in theatrical history. They're powerful explorations of themes that still haunt us. Ajax tells the story of a warrior's mental breakdown. After the Trojan War, Ajax expects to receive the armor of the fallen hero Achilles. When it goes to Odysseus instead, Ajax's pride shatters. He plans to murder the Greek commanders, but the goddess Athena drives him mad. He slaughters livestock instead, believing they're his enemies. When he regains his senses and realizes what he's done, the shame is unbearable. He takes his own life. This isn't just ancient drama. It's a raw examination of post-traumatic stress, wounded pride, and the devastating effects of dishonor on a warrior's psyche. Electra presents one of the most intense revenge plots in all of Greek theater. Electra's father, Agamemnon, was murdered by her mother Clytemnestra and her mother's lover. For years, Electra has lived in rage and grief, waiting for her brother Orestes to return and help her exact vengeance. When he finally arrives, they plot together to kill their own mother. The play forces us to ask, when is revenge justified? Can murder ever be righteous? Sophocles doesn't give easy answers. He shows us the psychological toll of living for vengeance. Philoctetes explores manipulation and moral compromise in wartime. The archer Philoctetes was abandoned on a deserted island years ago because of a festering wound. Now, the Greeks need his magical bow to win the Trojan War. They send young Neoptolemus to trick Philoctetes into coming back. The play becomes a battle between honesty and political necessity. Should Neoptolemus lie to serve his country or tell the truth and risk everything? It's a timeless dilemma about integrity versus pragmatism. Women of Trachis centers on Deianira, wife of the mighty Heracles. When she learns her husband has fallen in love with another woman, she's desperate to win back his affection. She uses what she thinks is a love potion on a robe she sends him. But it's actually poison, and it kills Heracles in agony. Deianira, horrified by what she's done, takes her own life. The tragedy shows how love can drive us to destructive acts and how good intentions can lead to catastrophic consequences. Oedipus at Colonus was written at the very end of Sophocles' life, when he was nearly 90 years old. It follows the elderly, blinded Oedipus as he wanders into the sacred grove at Colonus near Athens. After years of suffering and exile, he finally finds peace. The play is mysterious and spiritual, showing that even the most cursed life can find redemption. It's a meditation on death, forgiveness, and the strange blessings that can come from suffering. What makes all these plays unique is Sophocles' focus on individual psychology. His characters aren't puppets of the gods. They're complex people with inner lives, doubts, and fierce convictions. They're often stubborn and lonely. They face choices where every option leads to pain. This psychological realism was groundbreaking, and it's why these plays still resonate. But now, let's turn to the big two, the plays that made Sophocles immortal. Oedipus Rex is often called the perfect tragedy. It's structured like a detective story, except the detective is hunting himself. The city of Thebes is dying from a plague. The oracle declares the plague will only end when the murderer of the previous king, Laius, is found and punished. Oedipus, the current king and hero who once saved Thebes by solving the Sphinx's riddle, swears to find this killer. The investigation unfolds with mounting dread. A blind prophet named Tiresias cryptically suggests Oedipus himself is the problem. Oedipus dismisses this as madness. But piece by piece, through testimony from witnesses and an old shepherd, the horrifying truth emerges. Years ago, Oedipus killed a man at a crossroads in a fit of road rage. That man was Laius, his biological father. He then married the widowed queen, Jocasta, who was actually his mother. Oedipus had been running from a prophecy his entire life. An oracle told him he would kill his father and marry his mother. So he fled the people he thought were his parents. But they were his adoptive parents. In trying to escape his fate, he ran straight into it. When Jocasta realizes the truth, she hangs herself. Oedipus, in a moment of unbearable anguish, takes the pins from her dress and blinds himself. He chooses physical darkness to match the darkness of his life. He becomes a wandering exile, destroyed by the very intelligence and determination that once made him a hero. Antigone shifts the focus to the next generation, to Oedipus's children. After a brutal civil war, both of Oedipus's sons have killed each other in combat. The new king, Creon, decrees that one brother gets a hero's burial while the other must rot in the sun, unburied and dishonored. Anyone who attempts to bury him will be executed. Antigone, their sister, cannot accept this. She believes divine law, the sacred right to burial, is higher than any human law. Despite the death penalty, she buries her brother. When Creon discovers this, he's furious. His authority has been challenged by a young woman. He orders her sealed in a cave to die. But Creon's stubbornness triggers a catastrophe. His son Haemon, who was engaged to Antigone, pleads with his father to show mercy. Creon refuses. Haemon rushes to the cave, finds Antigone has hanged herself, and kills himself in grief. When Creon's wife hears this news, she also takes her own life. By the time Creon realizes his mistake, he's lost everything. His rigid pride has destroyed his family. These two plays have endured because they capture fundamental human struggles. Oedipus Rex explores the limits of human knowledge and control. Oedipus was brilliant, but he couldn't see the truth about himself. His story warns us about hubris, the dangerous pride that makes us think we can outsmart fate or destiny. Yet it also shows profound responsibility. Even though Oedipus didn't know what he was doing, he doesn't make excuses. He accepts the consequences. Antigone gives us a different lesson. It's about conscience versus the state. When a law is morally wrong, do we have a duty to disobey? Antigone says yes. She shows that one person's moral courage can challenge an empire, even if it costs them everything. Creon's tragedy teaches us about inflexibility. He wasn't evil, just stubborn. His refusal to listen or compromise destroyed him. When Sophocles died around 406 before Common Era, he left behind more than plays. He left a blueprint for understanding human nature. His characters grapple with fate, pride, loyalty, and conscience. They make terrible mistakes, suffer enormously, and sometimes find strange grace in their suffering. These aren't just ancient stories. They're mirrors reflecting our own struggles with authority, family, identity, and moral choice. In theaters around the world, audiences still watch Oedipus discover his terrible truth and Antigone stand alone against power. They still feel the shock, the pity, the recognition. Because Sophocles understood something eternal, that being human means facing impossible choices, living with consequences, and searching for meaning in suffering. His plays don't offer comfort. They offer something more valuable: truth.